And down here we have, good gosh, my 8-ton tumbler, and oh good gosh. Alright, on last week's episode I discussed a little bit about stainless steel media and ceramic media in very brief detail in relation to tumbling your parts. So this week I decided I would share with you guys more of the in-depth information not only about the media but also about the tumblers and how to use them. So first things first, obviously I like to use ceramic media. This one is just a mixture of various shapes that I have. And the number one thing when you're working with ceramic media is you need to have water in there. And by water, I'm not talking just enough to wet the stones. You need pretty much enough to cover the media. And I like to go a little bit more, just so that way there's enough water in there to help remove any grit, keep things nice and lubricated, and all that stuff. Also, it helps if you mix a tiny, and by tiny I mean like a drop of dishwashing detergent in there, but that's totally optional. One thing that you should note is this will happen to your water after about 24 hours of tumbling. This is pretty much all the ceramic media that's gotten rubbed off, and if you're going to tumble for more than 24 hours, I highly recommend that you stop, rinse out the media, put fresh water in there, and start over again. So when it gets like this, all it's going to do is just grind crap into your parts, and it's not going to work very well. Also, your media should be rinsed when you're done using it, so that way that stuff doesn't build up on it, which can be a real nightmare to remove. Just believe me on that one. When I started out in tumbling, I did a lot of aluminum parts, and I never cleaned the media, and I regretted it after about the third time because it was just covered in gunk. Don't know if that totally applies to working with plastic and metal composite filaments, but just save yourself the grief and rinse it off. It's worth the minute or two of work. Next, obviously we have the stainless steel pins. These are designed for brass reloading operations, but one thing I will note is in the future I'm looking into getting more than just pin shapes. I have found mixture kits on eBay designed for jewelry tumbling that also have look almost like UFO shaped saucers in there, and steel balls and stainless steel balls and things like that. So it kind of, there's like technical terms for all that stuff, but it gives it more of a burnishing action than just a bunch of pins, which might work great for brass reloading, but might not be the most efficient for, say, a Marvin model or something like that. So I might look into that in the future, but for the meantime, this stuff works. One other thing that helps is this stuff. It's called Lemi Shine. You can find this on like Amazon or things like that. If you're like me and you have really hard water, this can help, although I highly recommend using distilled water. This seems to help a little bit as well because if there's any junk left behind, it tends to help prevent it from building up. So I highly recommend using this, but only a tiny amount goes a long way. So let's hypothetically say that you're going to tumble your ceramic media, so let's just add your stainless, just add a tiny bit of that, probably more than enough. Then you're going to want to take your water, and in this case we don't want as much water. We definitely need some water, but I like to use enough to fill it up pretty much to just near the top, but in this application, having a little bit less water, I find, tends to get the action working a little bit quicker. Now that said, like anything else, experiment, but you definitely need some kind of liquid when you're doing this. So don't use a ton of water, but some water goes a long way. Now that we got the media out of the way, let's go ahead and talk tumbler. Okay, so when it comes to tumblers, you have two choices. You have a Rotary Tumbler. This is the drum for it. It just sits like this and rolls, and the parts roll inside. And this one works great with the stainless steel media. It's the only kind that is reported to work with it, and I haven't experimented with that, but I trust that people aren't lying when they say that. And this is what the whole unit looks like. This is my kind of dirty, need to clean it off obviously, Thumblers Tumbler, let's say what it is, I think it's the AR-12. This one cost me about $160 to $180 on Amazon. And while it's not cheap, this thing is designed for just running days on end without stopping. It's really nice. The other nice thing about it is the fact that you can switch out this big drum for some smaller drums because they have slots in here, which is a really nice feature if you don't need to spend anything massive, but say you want to run like two smaller drums, like one's got stainless and one's got ceramic if you're doing a bunch of small parts in production or something like that, or just buy another one of these. They're really nice. So that is the rotary tumbler that I use for the most part. Now, the other kind that is out there is this big boy. Mind you, this guy is huge. I got it used and it was well worth it. Crap, camera moved. Okay. So this, okay. Oh, yeah, this is my Thumblers Tumbler UV-40, I think it's called. This thing is huge, heavy, and loud. Okay, I'm gonna put that down before I kill myself. Okay. The way this thing works is on the underside, there's a motor that has an offset weight that vibrates. That then vibrates the bowl back and forth, which creates like a mini earthquake in there. And the bowl's conical shape means that the parts roll over themselves. This thing is huge, heavy, and loud. I haven't tried it yet with the parts just because it is so loud when it runs. I don't want to annoy the neighbors who are like right next door and I'm good friends with here at Grandma's. But I will say that if it did work and I had a big old batch of parts to do, I would totally use this machine over the rotary one just for the volume. Now when it comes to the media, you don't need a ton. I run about, I think, maybe 3 to 5 pounds in the little AR-12. Make sure that you check the capacity of your machine in terms of weight, because especially when you're running a really dense media like the stainless steel pins, you can very easily overload a unit. I know that I'm nearing the maximum that my tumbler can run, and I think I'm running like a couple pounds of pins in there. I'm not fully sure. But I know that if I were to put more in there, it definitely would not like it. It would just stall out completely. So that's pretty much just the gist of tumblers and a little bit more on their media. I hope that helped you guys because I felt like I kind of shortchanged you on the other video when it came to all that stuff. So obviously, just let me know what you guys think of this, and I'll see you next time on Make It With Calvin. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Make It With Calvin. If you did, please feel free to leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, like and share this video with your friends. If you want to keep track of what I'm doing between episodes, feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I have links in the description down below. So until next time, have fun and stay safe.